How's it going, guys? My name is Stone, and welcome to these reviews. Today I'm going to be talking about Big Brother and the Holding Company's second album, 1968's Cheap Thrills. This would feature some of their biggest hits, such as Piece of My Heart and Ball and Chain, as well as be their last album to feature Janis Joplin on lead vocals before she would leave and pursue a solo career. The production and incorporation of crowd noises on this album create a very lively atmosphere, in my opinion, and provides a very nice texture to the band's sound. And their take on blues rock really elevates itself from what other groups were doing around this time, most notably because of Janis Joplin's remarkable and easily recognizable vocals, but also in James Gurley's guitar tones and guitar riffs. Cheap Thrills is one of those few records that really captured the music scene in San Francisco during the late 60s, as them and other bands were beginning to experiment with blues music and take it to another level, or at least keep it up with the times. And I really feel like while this record does uh, keep itself more towards the blues area more than psych in certain degrees, I think it does work as a psychedelic record. And yeah, just so many good qualities that I'll go into right now. This album opens with what might be the most bombastic track on the entire album, combination of the two. In this song, Joplin and Sam Andrew provide some excellent vocals, and their chanting throughout it makes this track feel very anthemic and very nice to just jump around to. I can imagine that would especially be true if you were watching them play this live, which I could only dream of. Where was I? The guitar solo towards the second half of the song is just as good as the vocals, in my opinion, and the way this track just takes off and concludes on such an explosive note makes for a great opener for Cheap Thrills. On the next track, I Need a Man to Love, the guitar tone becomes even grittier than before and gives the song an amazing acid rock experience. But what's especially notable about this track is Joplin's distinct vocal performance. I mean, the way she just shreds that chorus with her raspy voice is incredible. And I think it definitely helped Big Brother and the Holding Company stand out from their counterparts, like, the Grateful Dead, or I think Donovan's from San Francisco. I could be wrong. Or like Country Joe and the Fish, for example. Overall, it's a very melodic track that showcases their songwriting skills very well. The vocals get even better on their rendition of Summertime, where Joplin singing it just carries this track from good to gorgeous. I will say that the other members also provide beautifully mysterious and dark atmosphere to this track, in which Janis Joplin makes good use of by providing some of her best vocals on the album, in my opinion. Piece of My Heart picks up where Summertime left off and creates a very pleasant atmosphere with its melody. Their rendition of this track is definitely their biggest hit from the album, and it makes sense because the song definitely is one of the lighter, more enjoyable songs, more radio friendly overall. With that said, however, I do think that the main guitar riff on the song is probably the best guitar riff on the album, or at least best guitar riff. Um, Definitely the most memorable. Obviously, it's the most popular, probably the most popular song here. But no, I mean it elevates the song from being just a hit single to a very creative piece of music, and kind of trailing off. But overall, like I said, I don't want to overhype it too much because it is a great song. But I mean, it's not like my favorite, but it's still a great song, nevertheless. Fun fact, I'll admit it. When I was in a band freshman year, we actually used to play the song. I mean, I wouldn't sing Janis's part, obviously, but I try to do a good Sam Andrew. And at this point, though, kind of going off, we flip the record and start side two with Turtle Blues. Now, in my opinion, I find the song to be the weakest track on the album. I don't know, I just find the song to be a bit cliche compared to everything else on here. And I do think it showcases Joplin's bluesy vocals pretty well, but I just think it doesn't match the atmosphere or the mood and energy that the rest of this album has. And even without that context that I provided, I still think if you just heard the song without hearing all the other songs on the album, I feel like it's just a decent track in my opinion. It's nothing more than good. I will listen to it when I do listen to the whole album, like in one sitting or something, but I don't tend to listen to it on its own. Things do turn around, thank God, with the very bouncy track "Oh Sweet Mary." I feel like I overplayed this song for myself when I first heard it, but man, this is just another amazing song from this album. I find that it kind of has a surf rock sound to it with the way the drums and guitar sound. But what I especially love about this track is the vocals by both Janis and Sam Andrew. Their harmonizing and solo moments on the song are just so lively yet so emotional at times. And overall, they're both just outstanding singers. Of course, Janis does kind of shine a little more, but I think Sam provides some great vocals and keeps up with Janis, I'd say. Every musical moment on here, as well, is just very captivating. Like I feel like there's a little, not like movements you could say, but the song does tend to shift often, but it makes it work in my opinion. Yeah, this track overall is just another great showcase of the band's talents as a group of musicians, reading off of each other very well. But it's at the seventh track that we conclude this album on their live rendition of what might be their most popular live performance, Ball and Chain. I definitely consider this to be the magnum opus of Cheap Thrills, as it contains all of the best qualities of Big Brother and the Holding Company, wrapped into a 9-minute extended jam performance. They couldn't have opened the song any better than with with that blistering guitar riff that just drags you into the atmosphere of this song very easily. The melody is also very dooming, with its slow approach and Janis' vocals being rather dominant. My favorite moments on this track, as well as on this album, include the middle section with that guitar solo that's just super psychedelic yet so heavy at the same time. To an extent, it reminds me of Blue Cheer, or at least their first album, but like with how heavy it is, it's not like it's distorted, of course, but man, it's just incredible. My favorite guitar solo on the album, I'd say. And then the second moment being the conclusion of this track where Joplin sings a cappella and just shocks the audience. I imagine they're shocked because I would have been shocked hearing her play that live. Um, yeah, she just leaves the audience shocked with her brilliant approach to the vocals on this uh, part of the song, and one of the best moments in her career, in my opinion. Or just it just really, like I said, really showcases how talented she was as a singer. And it's a real shame that she did pass away from a drug overdose a couple of years after this, because she had an incredible style to her music and she was very unique for the time. I still don't think anyone, like in my journey into 60s psychedelic music or even 70s, I haven't heard anyone that sounds as distinct as her, as special as her. And even with the short time she was with Big Brother and the Holding Company, I think this band, including her, were able to really separate themselves from other bands in San Francisco during the late '60s. As having a front man, or technically front woman like her, already promised you a notable difference and already promised them a notable difference in their sound. If anything, I think Sam Andrews' guitar work on this album is one of the only key parts that keep it psychedelic. Kind of worded that weird. I think you know what I mean. But with that said, I still really enjoy the band's approach to psychedelic music, um, much more than I did on their first album. Because I think on this album, they really flew into things live, and when you have that picture of them playing all of this at once on a stage in front of people, I, for me at least, it's easy to get lost into that experience when you're assuming it's live. But even if it isn't, they fooled me well, like I said, and it's a record I really enjoy. I suggest you check it out if you want to get into the San Francisco scene of like '67 and all that, because it's a great record and it really captures that music well, or at least what was going on at that time. Same with other bands I reviewed on this album, but I'll dive more into the San Francisco scene as this channel continues. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, then make sure to check out my others to see if we have similar tastes, because I tend to review psychedelic rock albums, but I might change that in time, or like, I don't know, I was thinking about doing like 3 videos of this genre, this genre, this genre. It's kind of what I have planned right now, so I'm doing a few more, then I might move into some other territory. So stick around and you'll see. And yeah, subscribe if you're interested. That'd be cool. I wouldn't mind. um, And be on the lookout for another video coming out soon, because like I said, I'm trying to be more on top of this YouTube game that I got going on. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you then, hopefully. Alright, bye.